4, text number 2. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
भगवते
Bhagavate
वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
I'll recite the shloka 3 times, and then anybody who is interested can also recite. Atmajaya Suthagara Pashu Dravina Bandhusu Rajye cha Vikale Nityam Virudham Mamatam Jaho. Atmajaya Sutagara Pashu Dravina Bandhusu Rajye cha Vikale Nityam Virudham Mamatam Jaho. Atmajaya Sutagara Pashu Dravina Bandhusu Rajye cha Vikale Nityam Virudham Mamatam Jaho.
Atmajaya Sutagara Vasudevina Bandhusu Rajye Chavikale Nityam Virudham Mamatam Jaho. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण आत्मा जय श्रुतगाढा पशुद्रवीण बन्धुषु राज्याच्च विलाकाले नित्यं विरोधं ममतं जहो
आत्मजाया सुतागारा पशुद्राभिना बन्धुषु राज्ये च विकाले नित्यं विरुद्धं ममतं जाहु.
हरे कृष्ण आत्मजाया सुतागारा पशुद्रवीण बन्धुषु राज्ये च विकले नित्यं विरुधा ममतां जहो. हरे कृष्ण.
आत्मजाया सुतागारा पशुद्रवीणा बन्धुषु राज्ये च विकले नित्यं विरुधां ममतां जहो.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll proceed to the synonyms. Atma, body. Jaya, wife. Sutha, son. Agara, palace. Pashu, horses and elephants. Dravina, treasury house. Bandhusu, unto friends and relatives. Rajye, in the kingdom. Cha, also. Avikale, without being disturbed. Nityam, constant. Virudham, deep rooted. Mamatam, affinity. Jaho, give up. Give up. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaj Parikshit, as a result of his wholehearted attraction for Lord Krishna, was able to give up all deep-rooted affection for his personal body, his wife, his children, his palace, his animals like horses and elephants, his treasury house, his friends and relatives, and his undisputed kingdom. Purport. To become liberated means to become free from Dehatma Buddhi, the illusory attachment for personal bodily coverings and everything connected with the body, namely wife, children, and all other entanglements. One selects a wife for bodily comforts, and the result is children. For wife and children, one requires a dwelling place and as such, a residential house is also necessary. Animals like horses, elephants, cows, and dogs are all household animals, and a householder has to keep them as household paraphernalia. In modern civilization, the horses and elephants have been replaced by cars and conveyances with considerable horsepower. To maintain all the household affairs, one has to increase the bank balance and be careful about the treasury house. And in order to display the opulence of material assets, one has to keep good relations with friends and relatives, as well as become very careful about maintaining the status quo. This is called material civilization of material attachment. Devotion for Lord Krishna means negation of all material attachments as detailed above. By the grace of Lord Krishna, Maharaj Parikshit was awarded all material amenities and an undisputed kingdom in which to enjoy the undisturbed position of king. But by the grace of the Lord, he was able to give up all connections with material attachment. That is the position of a pure devotee. Maharaj Parikshit, due to his natural affection for Lord Krishna as a devotee of the Lord, was always executing his royal duties on behalf of the Lord. And as a responsible king of the world, he was always careful to see that the influence of Kali would not enter his kingdom. A devotee of the Lord never thinks of his household paraphernalia as his own, but surrenders everything for the service of the Lord. Thereby, living entities under a devotee's care get the opportunity for God realization by the management of a devotee master. Attachment for household paraphernalia and for Lord Krishna go poorly together. One attachment is the path of darkness, and the other attachment is the path of light. Where there is light, there is no darkness, and where there is darkness, there is no light. But an expert devotee can turn everything to the path of light by an attitude of service to the Lord. And the best example here is the Pandavas. Maharaj Yudhishthira and householders like him can turn everything to light by dovetailing so-called material assets in the service of the Lord. But one who is not trained or is unable to turn everything to the service of the Lord, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe, must give up all material connections before he can be fit to hear and chant the glories of the Lord. Or in other words, one who has seriously heard Srimad Bhagavatam for even one day, like Maharaj Parikshit, from a fit personality like Sukadev Goswami, may be able to lose all affinity for material things. There is no utility simply in imitating Maharaj Parikshit and hearing Bhagavatam from professional men, even for 700 years. To take Srimad Bhagavatam as a means of maintaining family expenditure is the grossest type of Nam Aparad offense at the feet of the Lord. Sarva Shubha Kriya Samyam Api Pramadha. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'll read the translation again. Maharaj Parikshit, as a result of his wholehearted attraction for Lord Krishna, was able to give up all deep-rooted affection for his personal body, his wife, his children, his palace, his animals like horses and elephants, his treasury house, his friends and relatives, and his undisputed kingdom. Hare Krishna. Before I speak, I'd like to seek blessings and permission from all the assembled Vaishnavas on this call so that I can try and repeat what I have heard. So this is a very beautiful verse. Prabhupada has often quoted this verse also. And as we can see here in this verse, that how Parikshit Maharaj was able to fully be absorbed, develop full faith and fix his mind upon Lord Krishna. How? After hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadev Goswami. And Prabhupada explains both in yesterday's verse and today's verse that Parikshit Maharaj was very fortunate, very, very fortunate that he was already attracted to the Lord from the very beginning of his birth, in the womb of his mother. As we all know, he was struck by the Brahmastra released by who?
Ashwatthama.
Ashwatthama. Yes. Yeah. Yes, by Ashwatthama. And by the grace of the Lord, the Lord personally protected Maharaj Parikshit in the womb of his mother. It was a really fierce weapon. And since then, Parikshit Maharaj was continuously trying to concentrate his mind on Krishna. So he was, as Prabhupada writes, he was perfectly chaste in devotional service. And when he further heard, as we all know, he was, superficially cursed. But when he further heard the Srimad Bhagavatam, the essence of all the Vedic scriptures, Vedescha Sarver Ahameva Vedya, is to know Krishna, is to develop attachment to the lotus feet of Lord Hari. So when he further heard this Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadev Goswami, his natural affection for Krishna was further strengthened. And Prabhupada writes, Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasada Paye Bhakti Lata Bij. So he was very, very fortunate. This verse means that a fortunate person, by the mercy of his spiritual master and Lord Krishna, achieves this path of devotional service. So by way of being, he was twofold. Very fortunate. One was, by the way of being born in a family of devotees, he automatically came in touch with Krishna. And he was in the association of all these great personalities, the Pandavas, Yudhishthira, Arjuna. And then that was one wonderful thing. And then Krishna gave him further chance, further advancement, development in Krishna consciousness, in devotional service, by introducing him to Sukadev Goswami, who was a stalwart devotee of the Lord, who was perfect in his knowledge, in self-realization. So that's how Parikshit Maharaj was able to concentrate his chaste mind further upon Lord Krishna. And Prabhupada writes in this verse, the translation says, as a result of his wholehearted attraction for Lord Krishna. And this is the whole point. As a result of his wholehearted attraction for Lord Krishna, he was able to give up all deep-rooted affection. And we'll try to focus on this part for the most majority of today's class. So he gave up all deep-rooted bodily affections and attachments, and this is so practically applicable to me. So the word deep-rooted Prabhupada uses, and the Sanskrit word is virudham, and he also uses the word mamatam. Yeah. So, and Prabhupada gives the example of trees. Yeah, we all have seen, almost all of us have seen trees, right? These tall trees, very old trees that are living for many, many years, sometimes, hundreds of years or sometimes thousands of years. And if you study the roots of these trees, how are the roots? Yeah, for these trees that are living for so many years. Are they very superficial, easily pull out?
No, you cannot.
No, the roots are firmly captured.
Captured.
Yes, Mataji, go ahead, please.
No, they're very strongly in the earth, and we cannot pull them out.
Yes. So the roots are strongly captured in the earth. And this is called Virudham, attraction, Prabhupada explains, and generally, if I want to stand for 1 hour, also sometimes my feet hurts. If I'm forced to stand for 1 hour, I feel so much inconvenience and trouble. I'm very uncomfortable. But these trees, Prabhupada explains, because they don't have that developed consciousness as human beings, they're standing up for hundreds of years, some cases thousands of years, and they are able to withstand all this, the changes in the atmosphere, all kinds of, excessive heat, cold, rain, snow. Still, the roots are capturing deep within the earth. So this is the difference between a advanced consciousness or a developed consciousness and undeveloped consciousness. The tree also has consciousness, but it is not as, it's undeveloped consciousness. So the point here is, the more we advance in Krishna consciousness, the more we become free. And Parikshit Maharaj here is that example, or as Prabhupada uses the word emancipation, means freedom. This Krishna consciousness means freedom from this deep-rooted virudham, deep-rooted material attachment. And why he became so much advanced, why he was able to give up all this deep-rooted attachment? Because from his childhood, from his birth, from the womb of his mother, he was Krishna conscious. And as soon as he understood this is my goal, he was fixed. He immediately gave up. And what kind of things did he give up? Prabhupada writes in the translation, he is the deep-rooted affection for his personal body. The false illusion under which I think that I am this body, his personal body, and then all the subsequent attachments that come from that, his wife, my wife, my children, my house, my palace, and Prabhupada says here, his animals like horse. Yeah, at that time, there were none of these electric cars or all these automobiles. So the horses and elephants were there, and his wealth and his kingdom. Prabhupada uses the word his undisputed kingdom. Like in those days, unlike now, you may be for one country, you may be a president or a prime minister, or you may be ruling a state. Yeah, he was the emperor of Hastinapur, but he was ruling the entire world, the whole world. Parikshit Maharaj was ruling. And he's giving that up, not some small village or something. I've been, little entangled with some of these land issues, that my father has a farmland in the outskirts of Hyderabad. This is his ancestral property. Somebody had encroached upon this land, so it's been such a challenge for quite some time now. But just, for a small bit of land, there's so much disturbance. Oh Krishna, so much disturbance. And here, You see, he is the king of the entire world. And Prabhupada writes in the translation, Avikale, Rajye cha Avikale Nityam. And he says, Rajya means the kingdom, and Avikale means without being disturbed. First of all, there is no disturbance for him. There is nobody challenging his kingdom. Nobody could go against him. He was so powerful. But still, he just gave up. And his wife and children. The other word Prabhupada uses in the verse is mamatam. Yeah, mamata. Many of you at least have heard or are familiar with this word mamata. What does it mean?
Affection.
Yes, mamatam. Yeah, mamata. Affection, this is mine. My wife, my children, this mamata comes from the conception or the consciousness of I, me, mine. I am this body, and everything in relationship with this body is mine. My home, my bank balance, my wife, my children, my society, my nationality, people speaking my language, my country, all this my. Uh, uh, and all this, Prabhupada writes, it begins with this attraction. When the man is attracted by a woman, then obviously, then you get married, you want to have children. So like this, one after the other, there's so much attraction is there for these possessions. And it is so deep rooted, just like this tree. These trees that are living for hundreds and thousands of years, the roots are so deep. Like that, so much deep rooted these attachments are there, and it cannot be given up that easily. It's not easy to give up where Parikshit Maharaj was. He had everything at his disposal. He was the king of the whole world. Everything was at his beck and call. Imagine, everything. Yeah. And the best of the best was offered by all the citizens to the king. Yeah. Just to give up sometimes some small petty things like my false ego, small things, it sometimes becomes so challenging, so difficult. But for somebody to give up like this, it's a big thing. That too without any disturbance. Yeah. So Prabhupada explains how these attachments become deep rooted and how Maya attracts and then it captivates us. Like this spider, the example is given of a spider. How the spider, the spider web is not that attractive for you and me. But for the fly, it is very, very attractive. And the fly thinks, oh, this web is made of nice silk, like a comfortable bed, and let me relax. And the fly is fluttering its wings for a long time. And what happens the moment the fly rests there?
It gets stuck.
It gets trapped. And the more the fly is fluttering, what is happening? The more he flutters his wings, the more he gets trapped. Yeah, and the spider swallows it. Like that, that is for the fly, but different living entities in this world, there are different attractions offered, very unique to each living entity, right? A male dog is attracted to the female dog. A man is attracted to woman. Like honeybee finds the flower is very beautiful. So the whole material world is based on this attraction principle. That's why it said Maya attracts and captivates. And unless one who stops at the point of attraction and doesn't proceed further, he will succumb to that attraction. And we have to take the encumbrances of the material world. So this is how a man is attracted to women, children, then house, then all the paraphernalia Prabhupada explains. Yeah. So this whole thing, knowing very well that it's very temporary, the living entity gets so attached, and it's explained that Krishna comes in the form of death, and everything is smashed, everything. But still, uh, I forget, and I want to remain here with this sense of I, me, and mine. That's why, like Hiranyakashipu, he was planning so many things. But Nrsingadev came and just smashed everything. Therefore, when Prahlad Maharaj was asked, what material benediction you want, he said, my dear Lord, what you are offering me? My father was so powerful that even demigods were threatened with his red eyes, and he expanded his influence all over the universe. But just like that, in a second, you finished everything. So why would I ask for some benediction like that? So he says, if you want to give me some benediction, please engage me in some service of your servant. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says this, Gopi Bhartur Pada Kamalayor Dasa Anudasa Anudasa. So to become the servant of Krishna. And this is the way a conditioned living entity can give up this deep attachment. Because at any moment, all of this can be dismantled and can be taken away. So Parikshit Maharaj's life is a wonderful example. Yeah, as soon as he understood from Sukadeva Goswami, from his spiritual master, that Krishna is the goal of life, that's it. He gave up. Virudam mamatam jahav, gave up. All the necessities, everything. Sometimes this question as well, if we are not this body, then we should we neglect this body? What do you think? Give up everything, then give up taking care of this body also. Yes, any thoughts?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think that we should take care of our body so that we can do Krishna service. And
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, like you have a nice car, for example. To go anywhere, we need the car. But we should know very well that I'm not this car. I'm taking service from the car. So the car should be maintained nicely. That you have to give regular servicing, oil change, fill air, whatever is needed. You have to take care of the car. Similarly, the body, Bhagavad Gita explains in the 18th chapter that Sarva Bhutani Yantrarudhani Maya. This body is like a car, as a vehicle, yantra. So we have to, but we should be very careful not to think that I'm this body, like I'm not this car. I'm not this body, it doesn't mean I should neglect it. No, I must maintain it. If I want to perform devotional service, I must use this body. Unless, like, if I want to move around, I need to maintain my car. But our business should not be to be attached to the body, like, or to be attached to the car that we are using to move around. You maintain this body for our work, because for our real business is to develop Krishna consciousness. So this is very important. The real business is in this human form of life is to develop Krishna consciousness. And to execute that real business, we take help of this body. So we maintain it nicely, clean it, do whatever is required. Because sometimes Mayavadis explain, oh, well, this whole material world is false. No, we need this body. Why will I say, no, it's all Maya? No. It is there. We need it. But it is temporary. So I have to make use of it because I'm in this material world. Yeah. So this way we have to maintain the body and take Krishna Prasadam and do things that are favorable for our Krishna consciousness and reject those are not favorable for our Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So these are a couple of points I wanted to mention about that. And then the other point that I wanted to mention about is Chaitanya Charitamrita gives a couple of examples, that how, but I'm in a grihastha life, we have wife, children, husband. So what we have to do is, and the examples are given of Srivas Thakur and Malini. And they were great. Malini was Srivas Thakur's wife, was a great devotee of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Yeah, and Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya were very fond of Srivas Thakur and Malini. And they loved them like parents. And Gaur Nitai were like their children. And that same house in which they lived became the place for all the nocturnal kirtans with all the devotees, Srivas Angan, every night. And by this process, Srivas Thakur also developed firm faith on the holy names, and it offered him all protection and nourishment in life. So there was no need for them to leave home. If you make your house a place like the example that is given of Srivas Thakur and Malini, and many times in Srila Prabhupada's letters, sometimes Grihastha man would ask Srila Prabhupada, I want to take sannyas. And Prabhupada would ask, why do you want to take sannyas? No need. You're already doing the job of sannyas. You have a nice center at home. You and your wife are good partners propagating Krishna consciousness. No need. Yes, in those rare circumstances where it's not favorable, then yes. Yeah. But and in the another example comes into mind to my mind is Vidura. When Dhritarashtra asked Vidura for some good counsel, yeah, he was the minister, and when Dhritarashtra asked what to do with the Pandavas, so Vidura answered, well, 12 years are over. Hand over the kingdom to the Pandavas. That is your appropriate course of action. Don't listen to this wretch Duryodhan. Vidura says, I already told you in the very beginning itself. If you listen to Duryodhan, you will be ruined. I said this in front of Duryodhan without any fear. And when Duryodhan heard, yes, anyone remembers what he said? What did he say? No? He said, throw this guy out. He said, why do we maintain this loyal wretch? And he is more affectionate to Pandavas. Only with his breath, kick him out. This was Duryodhan's response. Vidura was such a learned person. He was so very respectable, almost like Bhishma Pitama. And Duryodhan chastised, and he said he's the son of a kept mistress. It was very painful and hurting to Vidura. But what did Vidura do? Just like Parikshit Maharaj, when he was cursed, what did he do? He took it as an opportunity to go closer to Krishna. He didn't fight anymore, Vidura. He took the dress of a mendicant and he went away from there. He considered himself so unqualified that he first visited all the holy places before meeting Krishna. And internally, Vidura was so happy. He took all the insults as Lord's mercy. He could renounce and chant Krishna's names. So he could visit all the holy places and hear nice Krishna Katha. So, and the devotee, the point is, whatever the circumstances are, the devotee sees the result should be Krishna conscious. Yeah, whatever the situation is, whatever the ultimately we should use every situation to become Krishna conscious. So, ultimately the question one should ask is whatever I am doing, everything, whatever my situation is it making me Krishna conscious? And the other question that comes up is about giving up everything. Sometimes people ask, why do you have to give up everything? Or how can we be happy by giving up everything? Especially materialistic people, they cannot understand how you can give up all of these attachments and be happy. Jesus says in Bible that it's more easy to thread the eye of a needle with an elephant than to send a rich man to the kingdom of God. Because when one has all these possessions, wealth, and is very famous, prestige in society, then what happens? We tend to depend on them. We put our faith more on the bank balance. We are dependent more on our family members. Our faith is in the bank balance, our dependence is on family members, and our love is on all these material possessions. Then it's natural that one forgets Krishna. But we should have firm faith in Krishna, that Krishna will protect, depend fully on Krishna and love Krishna. But the more we have all these material things, the more we are consumed with these in our mind, and we become materially affected by all these things. So by developing attraction for Vasudeva through the process of bhakti, one naturally develops detachment from all those things unfavorable for devotional service. And Parikshit Maharaj is one such wonderful example, that he gave up everything, and the other beautiful part is he used everything in Krishna's service, nothing for his own personal sense gratification. From his very resident, right from within the womb of his mother Uttara, what could he have done to counteract the Brahmastra? What can the embryo do to defend itself? Nothing. So what? By the prayers of Mother Uttara, who was a devotee of Lord, that Lord entered the womb and saved Parikshit. It was actually the calling of the prayers of the devotee that Krishna revealed himself to Parikshit Maharaj. So this is another important point, that we should know that if we are under the protective guidance of a devotee, then by the prayers of that devotee, by the prayers of Guru, by the prayers of senior Vaishnavas, we will be protected. So if we become dear to a devotee, then Krishna will protect us. He will save us. That does not mean dangers will not come, struggles will not be there, suffering will not be there. But ultimately, Krishna will protect us. Examples are given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita of the son-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was an envious person due to his bad association and previous conditioning. And because of that, he was suffering on deathbed with cholera. But Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came at the end. Why? Because he was dear to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So, if we take shelter with great faith in Lord's pure devotees, and then Krishna never neglects the prayers of those great devotees. And what these great devotees are always praying to protect, to uplift the fallen souls. So Parikshit Maharaj understood that the only protection is Krishna. When he came out of his mother's womb, uh, 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 that he was made king after Yudhishthira Maharaj left into the Himalayas. Uh, uh, but Parikshit Maharaj, because of his great association and because he was raised in the family, in the atmosphere of Krishna consciousness, he never forgot that Krishna is the only shelter. Yeah, and that was the only thing worth living. So he was simply attached to Krishna. So he utilized everything that he had in the service of Krishna. So Rupa Goswami explains that the simple formula for all of us to develop this attraction to the Lord is to accept those things that are favorable for our devotional service and reject things that are unfavorable for our devotional service. So if this is one point that if we can remember, then we can deal with what to do and how to do in almost all situations of life. So how to get out of the clutches of Maya? Yeah, how to reunite with Krishna? The formula is, accept that which is favorable and reject that which is unfavorable. Yeah, so, and Prabhupada writes in the purport, Krishna Surya Saman, Maya ho andhakar, jaha Maya tahe nahi Krishna, jaha Krishna tahe nahi Maya adhikar. So wherever there is Krishna, there is no question of Maya. There is no question of, wherever there is sunshine, there is no question of darkness. So by favorably engaging in devotional service under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master who engages us based on our propensities, we can utilize everything in Krishna's service. And that way we can gradually develop attraction to Krishna and full attachment to Krishna, and we can give up all material unnecessary attachments. Yeah. Because ultimately everything is Krishna's property. Yeah. So otherwise we are in this deep dark well of material existence. So so Krishna is the ultimate proprietor, and by taking shelter of Krishna, we can give up all these deep-rooted attachments. I also remembered this one story that Prabhupada narrated of Narada Muni and the hunter Mrigari. So one day Narada Muni was passing by just to emphasize the importance or the power of the association of a devotee, a moment's association of a devotee. Sadhu Sangha, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Yeah, that there was this hunter in the forest, and when Narada Muni was passing by, he noticed that there were left and right many animals half killed, obviously in pain and suffering. So Narada Muni tried to find out who is this person who is doing this. So he goes and sees, finds this person, and this hunter, he thinks, oh, Narada Muni has come for some deer skin or something. Yeah, and he's fearful that Narada Muni may, so Narada Muni says, no, I'm not come here for any deer skin. I wanted to know why you are, half killing these all these animals, and then this person says, look, this is my profession, this is what I learned. I don't want you to take away my livelihood. And then he says, no, instead of that, why don't you, fully kill these animals? He says, I don't know what is papa and punya. I'm doing this because that's what I was taught. So I'm killing these animals. So he was half killing. So Narada Muni says, if you're doing this for your livelihood, can you give this up? I will provide you your necessities. He says, sure, if you can provide these necessities, then I'll give up. I'm doing this just for my livelihood. So Narada Muni says, okay, come with me. And then he tells this hunter to sit on the banks of the Ganges. There's a Tulsi plant. He says, worship this Tulsi plant and chant Hare Krishna. And Narada Muni leaves, and then soon the word spreads in the village that, oh, hunter has become a Vaishnava. So everybody starts getting, when you're meeting this kind of a sannyasi, people want to give something. So they all bring grains, rice, fruits, vegetables. So many things are constantly coming. So this person is very pleased. Wow, I'm getting all the necessities more than I need. And then he slowly is chanting and worshipping, and he becomes a Vaishnava. So Narada Muni one day tells Parvata Muni, he says, let's go visit my disciple. So they both come to the forest to see, and this hunter who turned into a Vaishnava is welcoming Narada Muni and Parvata Muni. But then he's dancing, or he's jumping. He's not dancing, he's jumping up and down, up and down. He's jumping while receiving Narada Muni and Parvata Muni. So Parvata Muni asks, I can see you're very happy to see your spiritual master, but I don't understand why you're jumping. Any guesses why he was jumping? So probably some of you know the story. So why was he jumping? Anyone knows? Nobody? Are you all able to follow me so far?
He was very happy, Prabhu.
Okay. Any other guesses? He wasn't dancing, he was jumping. So thank you. Yes, good guess. Yes, anyone else?
So that he wouldn't step on any living entities
Yes.
that he made
Thank
damage
you.
while walking.
Yes, thank you, Dronacharya Prabhu. Yeah, actually, he says, there were ants on the path, and I didn't want to kill the ants. So imagine he was a hunter who had no concept of, papa and punya, and he was half killing animals. And from that, he's turned into a Vaishnava who doesn't even want to hurt an ant. This is the power of association of devotees. So devotees prayers, devotees association is very powerful, and we can make rapid advancement by taking shelter of your devotees. So this is how this hunter turned into a Vaishnava, and not only that, he was truly living the principles. He didn't even want to, hurt an ant, as Dronacharya Prabhu was saying. So thank you so much. With this, I'll end here. Any corrections, comments, additions, reflections? Thank you so much for the opportunity, and please forgive me if I have made any mistakes. I humbly request all the Vaishnavas to please correct. Thank you.
The story was really nice, Prabhu. I heard this story for the first time. That's so nice. Thank you so much for sharing this story.
Hare Krishna. Any other comments, corrections? No? There are no comments or corrections. Then we
Hare
can end
Krishna,
here.
sir, I
Huh?
have a question.
Mataji.
Yes, class was very nice and motivating. So that's why we need sadhu sangha. And I have a question. You said that where there is Krishna, there is no darkness. There's shloka there, right? I don't remember which shloka.
Yes, in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I don't remember the exact verse number, but let me see if I can pull it up. Or I can send it to you, if that's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Unless somebody remembers, maybe. Which verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita? I know it is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, but I don't remember the exact verse number. I will share it with you, Mataji.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Any other comments, announcements? No? Okay. We'll end here then. Thank you so much for joining. Grantaraj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa
Kripa
sindhuvaya.
sindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank
Ki
you.
jai.